Welcome to the Nick and Nick podcast. This podcast is sponsored by Royalty Roofing and Siding. Crown your home and your commercial property and then wrap it with royalty. Today we got on the podcast, he's kind of a big deal.
Nah, man. I'm not.
Now, what do we call you? Mike, Mikey, Michael?
Yeah, as I've grown and developed, I think that Michael is becoming my identity. My mom will never call me anything other than Mikey.
Okay.
Right? Most of the people in my circle always call me Mikey. My wife will never call me anything other than Michael. So it just kind of whatever was rolling off the tongue. But as far as personality and spirituality, it's Michael.
Okay. Yeah. So you're evolving a little bit.
That's right.
Well, it depends on the what arena that you're in, whether you're Mike, Mikey, or Michael. But
that's right.
I'll call you Michael for the podcast if that's all right.
Yeah.
Currently, you're one of the, what are you, commercial project manager?
Yes, sir.
At Royalty Roofing and Siding?
Yep. Yeah, joined Royalty about 2 months ago now, and I'm loving it being in this commercial space. It's been really cool so far, and so looking forward to seeing how this transpires and continues to grow and develop.
Sure. So I want to talk about a few things if we can. I want to talk about faith. I want to talk about football. I want to talk about, I know you're a family man.
That's right.
And I also want to talk about fortitude.
Yeah. Ooh.
You know, some of that, a lot of F's going on there, but first of all, thank you for joining us on the podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you on the Nick and Nick podcast, and actually glad to have you here back in Omaha because you're originally from...
I'm originally from Seattle. We lived in Lincoln. My wife is from Lincoln, so we lived there and then had a stint in Minneapolis, came back to... I didn't want to go back to Lincoln, so we settled with Omaha, and we love it here.
Do you want to get into the story a little bit? So, Michael, Daniel, I mean, you got a story. What brought you back to Omaha? I think you were a professional. Why don't you tell us your story?
Yeah. So
started out at Jackrabbit, or before even that was IMG,
Go Jacks,
right?
Yeah, Go Jacks. But yeah, I was blessed with an opportunity in high school to take a scholarship down to South Florida and play at IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. Was actually a part of the first football team ever there. So the first touchdown in game in a regular season in history of IMG I actually have.
What year was that ish?
2013.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a junior in high school. So that was an awesome experience. Was blessed to then go on to South Dakota State. Originally walked on, which was really cool.
Yeah, you have a little bit of a story with that in terms of you were considering Nebraska. I know a little bit about your background.
Yeah, loved Nebraska and the idea of coming here. Was all in on it. Bo Pelini, he kind of was moved out the way. Mike Riley comes in, and they always have their own guys, right? And so South Dakota State was an opportunity, and again I had to walk on, which was a very humbling and cool experience. Was grateful for that. Looking back, so I walked on for my first season there, and I was ninth out of ninth on the depth chart. So it's like you can't dig a hole any deeper than I was. I'd get 1 to 2 reps at practice a day.
This is as a freshman.
As a freshman, yeah. And so just work, man. And that following season, after my redshirt year, moved up to third on the depth chart. So as a redshirt freshman, a sophomore in school, moved up to third on the depth chart. Got a scholarship and ended up finding my way into history books at South Dakota State, finishing top 8 in school history and rushing touchdowns. So,
South Dakota State back then was no slouch. I mean,
we had 2 consecutive semifinals appearances. Lost to Signetti actually at James Madison, and lost to North Dakota State in one of them as well.
So the current coach that's having a ton of success at Indiana was the coach at JMU way back then.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they beat the bricks off us too. Like, we lost by 40 plus points, I want to say, in that semifinals game.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't even because they were 40 points better than us. It was just everything clipped for them at that time. And I think we set the record for like most turnovers in a game that day, which isn't a good record, but that's not a good stat to have. Thankfully, I didn't have any of them, but we had 10 that game.
What position did you play?
In college and high school, I played running back position, and then as I transitioned to the NFL with the Atlanta Falcons, I played fullback and running back. So I was kind of split out a little bit, played a little bit of wide receiver, but what they signed me as was a fullback. Okay.
Before we get into your faith journey and a little bit more about football and about how you've built emotional, mental, physical fortitude over the years, I want to put you on the spot a little bit, if that's okay.
Let's do it.
Let's go first one. Let's go over under. At the combine, 225s on the bar.
Yeah.
Over under 25 times.
Yeah, I hit 27.
27?
Yep.
Okay.
27 at my pro day.
Is that pretty good?
I wasn't upset with it.
Okay.
Yeah, that would have been number 1 or 2 that year for all running backs at that position. So
who was in your class? Or who's at the combine? Names that possibly we would that were running backs.
Yeah, the year I came through, that's a great question. DeAndre Swift would be a running back during that class. Okay. Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Oh yeah.
Out of LSU, those are your 2,
okay.
1-2, 1A, 1B type guys during that year. So yeah.
And you're right there. They ain't putting it up 27 times though.
No. They got me in the speed category.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah, but as far as I think the jumping, all the other things, I think I got them.
Okay, let's go currently.
Yeah.
225 over under. That was 27 back during the combine. Over under. We looking at 15. Over under 15.
I probably hit it 30 times right now.
Huh?
Probably, I think so.
Okay.
I don't know. I pumped out 315 for 10 a month ago.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I do sets of 10 at 225, so I somewhere in there.
Yeah, I was giving you crap the other day. You put a video of yourself on Instagram or whatever, but never showed your face.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't me.
Was that you?
It was fraudulent. It said, check the tattoos.
Yeah, you said, check the tats out. No, that was legit. You are over under for your max right now. How about that?
I'm probably under where I was.
Okay. Over under 4?
I'll flirt with it. I did 3. I was doing 365 for 3 the other day.
Okay.
So I'd be pretty close to 405. Somewhere close.
Right. So over the years, you've developed discipline physically, obviously chemically as it relates to eating. Let's go, where are you at with that? Let's go either or. Carnivore, ketovore, seafood, see everything, eat it. I heard of another one the other day, pescatarian or something.
Oh, yeah. There's so many different words for certain things, man. I'm so lost with all that. Look,
what are you trying to do these days?
Whatever it is, I just bless it before I eat it.
In the name.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, look, God, I know I'm about to have this ice cream here, but I'm still going to pray and thank you for it anyway, because, like, at the end of the day, you gave it to me.
Somehow, some way, all things work together for good, even an ice cream bar. Huh?
That's right, man. That's my verse right there, Romans 8:28. The ice cream bar, isn't in there, but
right, you're pushing the limit a little bit there. But all right, let's go either or, podcast or book guy.
The good book, for sure. I'll listen to podcasts here and there. There's one that I really, really like. It's called Serendipity, and is Inky Johnson, who was a football player who
something with
lost
his arm, right? Yeah,
he lost his arm playing football. He played at Tennessee, and he tackled the guy and ended up losing his arm. So it's like he doesn't have an arm.
Extremely motivational.
Yeah, and just he's very in tune with his spirit and with God, and so he understands now in the latter that, hey, this was for a divine purpose, and I now use this platform to speak on my testimony, right? We can't have the testimony without the test. So he's just developed that, like, hey, this wasn't by accident, and I appreciate that. So
okay, we'll stay on the spot for a minute. Now you have how many kids? You have a wife of how long?
Yeah, my wife and I, this will be 4 years in June.
It's 4, okay. Then you have how many kids?
And then we got 3 kids, 3, 2, and 7 months.
Jesus.
Yeah, we're in the thick of it for sure.
Are you guys more of a beach family or mountain family?
Beach for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Florida. My wife, we just love to be outside. We do like to hike and stuff, random stuff like that. But if there's A or B, I'm for sure going with
we're 10 out of 10 beach people as well.
Yeah.
Let's go. First love, was it basketball? I know you're hooping now. Yeah. Was it basketball or football?
I think I actually still like basketball more. Yeah. Still to this day. My mom always wanted me to play basketball, but I'm vertically challenged. I'm only, flirting with 6 foot. So these days, if you look at these guys, they're 7 foot as point guards. It's like, what are we talking about?
Right.
You got it.
There's no room for the short guy.
Yeah.
I mean, other than like you can probably run around and set some mean screens.
That's right. There's still a space for me, but as far as like what could take me, my stepdad actually always used to tell me, you don't choose a sport, the sport chooses you. And so had it been my way, I would have loved to play basketball, but football chose me. So.
Okay, let's talk about that. How did football choose you? How did you choose football? How has it molded and shaped you over the years through what you've experienced in terms of the trials and temptation, the refiner's fire is what we call it, and some of what you've been exposed to. How has that shaped you over the years, and how do you use what you've learned and apply it to what you do on a day-to-day, whether it's at home, in the workplace, on the court, in the gym?
Such a broad question.
Yeah, we just covered a lot,
and
didn't
it's
we?
beautiful though, because
Yeah.
I actually just had this conversation this morning in my men's group.
Okay.
My wife is in a season of what I see to be sifting, and it's a difficult season for a number of reasons. I mean, her grandfather is passing, and they're very close, have a great relationship.
Are they local? Is he local?
In Lincoln, yep.
Okay, good.
And then, so she's actually on her way there today. But
Well, that's great that she's accessible and
yeah,
can
right.
be a part of that.
That's right. But when we had our third baby, she started in August. She started staying home, so she stays home with all 3 of our kids, and that's a grind in itself, you know. And so,
Especially if she's not built or designed or wired for that.
that's right.
You know what I mean? I don't know what she was doing before you guys started having kids,
right.
but
Yeah,
it's not for everybody.
And
But
she always said she wasn't going to do it. She
Right.
said, "I'll never be a stay-at-home mom." She was solidified in her career as a head property manager for commercial investment properties,
Okay.
CIP. And she loves them, loves that place, and loves the people. So it's hard for her to walk away. But she just felt like, okay, I need to stay home now. And so with all that, it's just a perfect storm of stress. And the way I see it, truthfully, I think that everything is divine and for a reason. And so she's in a season where it's difficult. And not that I'm not there for her necessarily, but I'm not meeting her in her emotional needs probably. And the reason being is not that I don't want to, I do. And I do what I can and I'm emotional support, but there's still things that she needs that I don't necessarily want to give because I think that there's a divine reason she's going through this season of sifting. And God is using this to develop her character.
right.
So you have to go through hard things in life to develop as a person and to get to your next level, if you will.
Right.
Right.
It's like baking a cake, right? If you
That's
take it
right.
out too soon,
That's right.
it's going to be be what you put in.
right.
Eggs, milk,
Yeah.
butter.
Yeah.
It ain't going to be this beautiful cake if we
That's right.
tap out.
And so for me, I want her to go through a season of trials because she needs to grow through endurance, right? And football has instilled that in me. Like,
Right.
life is not easy.
No.
I grew up with, my father wasn't there, right? So I didn't have a whole lot growing up. I had my mom, she was great. But I went through a lot of difficult seasons of life, and they've molded me and shaped me because nobody's sitting there at the end of the day picking me up, right? Like, I have 3 kids that look at me as their provider, a wife that looks at me as a provider, and a community of people who reach out to me for whatever the case may be, right? So at the end of the day, like, if your character isn't developed and molded to go through these
Fortified,
things, like, you got to go through the ring of fire, right? Like, you don't just get to the NFL on accident.
Right.
It's a series of ups and downs, highs and lows, battles, and my career didn't go the way I'd always envisioned, but I still got there, right? And like, even with that, it was such a grind daily. Like, I'm doing things that people don't want to do. Still to this day, I find myself refining my disciplines.
Sure.
Right. So I try to do things to make myself uncomfortable,
Right.
so that I can continue to develop my character as a
Right.
person, as a man, as a husband, as a father, whatever. And so I think that that's the biggest blessing I can take away from the game is just a discipline and a work ethic and a desire to just be great at whatever I do.
Right.
And I just have carried that in all assets of life.
Right. I know you're a family man.
Right.
You talked a little bit about, I don't know if you want to get into or not, but you talked about not having the fatherly influence in the household, and you're a father.
That's right.
And now you're there.
That's right.
How has not having a father impacted your desire to become maybe the father that you didn't? I don't know.
It's everybody has an inner child that we yearn to be healed. Right. Like, and so I find myself reverting back to that inner child in moments of weakness.
Okay.
Right. So again, that's me developing my character.
Right.
Like, there's a season of trials or whatever, and like, at that point you revert back to where you got stuck at.
Right.
And so I get
Subconsciously
stuck.
even.
Right. It's not like I want to tell myself, hey, go back to this moment you got stuck here. It's like, hey, in order for you to evolve and continue to develop along this path, this is what needs to happen, right? And so for me, there's times where I'm like, man, I'm really missing the ball as a father, as a husband, because who's teaching me how to be those things when I never saw anybody do it, right? And then God, God is great, right? Like I'm so grateful for him. But here's my problem, and we know this because we talk about this. Me and God talk about this regularly. He said, hey, look, was your dad in the equation?
Mine, yeah.
Yeah. So you could pick up your dad and you
Not emotionally, but he was there.
right. You can pick him up,
Right.
and you can pick up the phone. You can call
Yeah,
him. You're going to hear an
anytime,
audible voice.
Right, exactly.
Well, when I pick up the phone and call God, a lot of times I don't hear an audible voice.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, come to the Father. Great. And you should, 100%. But there's still that earthly, fleshly desire of like, hey, I need to pick up and call Pops for advice.
Right.
Which now me and my dad, we have a good relationship. We're friends, but it's like that. You know what I mean? It's not, I don't go to him advice on raising my kids, being a husband, stuff like that. It's just like, hey, tell me about life from your perspective, right? It's a friendship, not necessarily dad, right?
Right.
And so that's what I'm just developing, and it puts me into a cycle of sometimes uncertainty and doubt in my abilities to raise these people and love my wife the way she needs to be loved. So that's something that I'm constantly working on.
Yeah, once you got that figured out, let me know.
That's the key, though. I want to.
Right. That's the idea.
That's the idea.
Right.
Whether that's ever achieved, I don't think so, because I don't think it's supposed to.
Right.
But it's the desire and the want to.
Absolutely.
That tells me you're gonna, continue to get better every day.
Right. And that's the whole intimacy with God is a setup thing.
That's right.
If we knew God, what I've learned a long time ago, as soon as I start to think I got God figured out, he pivots.
That's right.
And then you start back, and
that's right.
But it's all a setup to be intimate. This perpetual intimacy with your Father, your heavenly Father, the one that created you and designed you. Before you even in your mother's womb.
That's now we're rolling, man.
It's all a setup.
God is so funny, dude. We're getting into this Easter season, right?
Right.
And this is what gets me. People like, oh, look, God, you're not this. Jesus, you're not that. Whatever the case may be. But God, this is the best part about him, and so I don't really get to tripping on a whole lot of things. One, if you look at the state of the world in which we're sitting in, it's ugly, but it's supposed to be that.
Right.
If you take the time and actually read the red letters, nothing that you're currently seeing today is by accident.
Right.
And it wasn't like he gave you the answers to the test.
Right.
He literally said this, boom, 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 it's going to happen.
Right.
Look, said in the end times, people will be lovers of self. Number one picture out there taken, selfie, right? Like, look at me, or whatever the case may be, right? They will grow cold towards the children. Don't even need to expand on that. That is what it is. But this is the best thing about God and Jesus. They come to take him up, right? Tomorrow's Good Friday, Sunday's the resurrection. They come to arrest him, take him up. His man, Peter, cuts off a guy's ear. He's getting ready to take him. My guy picks up the ear, puts it back on his head, and they still say you're not who you say you are. What are we talking about?
Right, what are we
Here's
doing?
the trick. I do the same thing. It don't look like the visual. It doesn't look like the reality of somebody cutting off an ear and then putting it back on. But it's him showing up and him saying certain things and me still being disobedient.
Yep.
So that's the trick about the Bible and Jesus in this current season of life. It's everything he spoke about. We are all that.
Right.
But then the idea is to come more like the idea of what he was and is.
Right.
And is to come.
So you're a man of faith.
That's right.
I'm assuming it wasn't always that way.
No, sir.
Do you want to walk us through maybe your testimony or where that came from in terms of finding Jesus, developing that faith?
That's right.
And then accelerating that through your adulthood.
Right. I wish I could say I found Jesus, but that wasn't the case. It's not like I ever wanted to. I always believed probably in a God, but not necessarily in God as Jesus. And I even got baptized in college for show, I need to get baptized. Right. Well, why? What were you really doing it? And if you look at the posture of my heart, it wasn't because I was in close proximity to Christ and I wanted to be more like him. It was because it was a fad or a trend maybe at the time, and I saw, I'm like, hey, I can do this too. Or maybe it's because deep inside my spirit yearned for that and my flesh was just clueless, right? That's fine. But it wasn't until I was in the dark season of, I had been released from the Falcons my rookie year in Atlanta, and then it was before I got signed by Coach Rule on the Panthers. And I was in Arizona actually at the time with a good, staying with a good friend. And the Holy Spirit had just come into my room, and I was so scared because at that time, like I said, I didn't know anything, right? Like I just knew I was living wildly, recklessly, partying, drinking, being with whoever, doing with whatever I wanted to. And he essentially came in the room and said, "Hey, you're mine," right? And at that point, I was so overwhelmed and scared because it was so supernatural. I'm like, okay, this is real, and am I being taken? Like, is this it for me now? Right? And as I look, yes, the old is gone, the new is here to come, right? And so it was a moment of going from death to life. So yes, I was being taken. And that doesn't mean I just have it figured out.
Right.
It just means that I have the desire and the want to, like I said, get it figured out.
Which is most of the battle.
That's right.
Staying in the fight, staying in the game long enough until you can actually figure it out.
Yeah. So
And not that you'll ever figure it out, you just stay.
I don't
You're
think I
either
want
green
to.
or growing and ripe and rotten.
That's right. I don't think I want to because King Solomon was so smart,
Right?
And he was so wise, and he knew it all, and the world became boring to him.
Right.
He said, "Man, all of this is meaningless." Which it is,
Right.
but it's not in the same sense. And I had gotten to that point when he had filled me and made himself known to me that I started to look at the world that way as well, and it kind of messed with me a little bit, right? I saw the world so differently. And that's fine, that's great, but I couldn't stay there, and God knew that, and so I ran, still run, I still find myself running.
You're a runner, huh?
That's right, yeah. He's a runner, he's a track star, like he tries to get going, right? And it's like that's also a generational curse that's been passed down.
Running away instead of running towards.
That's right. So again, it's just understanding what's placed on you, because you have to understand what's placed in you can overcome that at all, but it's just going to take refining and, those moments.
Is there somebody in particular, 1, 2, 5 persons that has been instrumental in your faith journey, development, mentorship, whether it was a coach, another player, somebody on the team, I don't know, somebody at college, somebody in the pros?
What's interesting, Aaron, is I think that in life, everybody needs a Paul and a Timothy.
Okay.
And what does that mean? Paul is your mentor. Like, that's your guy. Paul wrote 2/3 of the New Testament, right? And Timothy's the understudy, right?
Okay.
So Paul is who I learn from. Timothy's who I teach to.
Okay.
And everybody needs both sides of the equation, right? Like, as you continue to develop in your faith, your maturity in life in general, those are the two things that I think all people need.
Right.
My
So
Paul,
who's been more of your Paul? Yeah.
That's right. My Paul, it's been a number of different people.
Were they football people? Were they church people? Were they business people? Were they family people? Or a little bit of...
Here's the kicker. I think that if you're a God person, you're all of those things.
So, make that make sense to me.
You said, is it a football person?
Yeah.
Maybe not football, right? But you said he's a family person. Is he a business person? Is it, like, you have to be all those things in life. Like
Absolutely.
I said, maybe not football, but the things that I learned through football, the discipline, like, that's godly, right? Like, it is. And so I think if you're a godly person, you're all of those. If you're a Paul, you're all of those. At least you have the attributes of them, right?
Yep.
Don't listen to what I say, listen to what I'm saying.
Right.
And so that's what's, like, my Paul has been a number of people, including the game of football itself.
Okay.
And here's the trick with that one. The Bible tells us not to have idols. So football has been an idol to me.
Has been?
Oh yeah, and it still will take that place on the throne above God in my heart sometimes. And that's when I'm like, hey, fix this. Right? That's the trick. Everyone has idols. Whatever it is, everyone has an idol, right? Some people, it's like your phone. There's certain things that you just feel like you can't go without.
Right.
And I shouldn't say everybody, but an overwhelming majority. If you tried hard enough and thought long enough, you would find out that this is something that I tell myself I couldn't live without. Or if it was taken, right, like, I would be done.
So do you feel that in some way, shape, or form, football was your identity?
Yeah, 1,000%. I still think it is a lot of times. And so that's a refining thing for me.
Right, to keep the priorities, keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah, we get in these seasons of life where the enemy is always talking, right? Hey, do you remember when, life was easy? You was just playing football. You had no kids, no roles, no responsibilities. You could party, you could do whatever you wanted and have no consequence. Just live. But it wasn't really life after all. It was really death.
Right.
And so I think that now I continuously seek new people to fill the role of Paul. And people are seasonal.
Right.
And things are seasonal.
Transactional.
Right, yeah. So the trick is, in certain seasons, I've held on to too many people that were temporary, trying to make them permanent.
Okay.
That was never supposed to be their role.
That can be painful.
Come on.
Yeah.
And so, I have to let certain people, things, habits, decisions, choices, and mentalities go.
Right.
And if I don't, that's where I'm stuck, right? And so I find myself like Lot's wife, turning. And as I turn back, I turn to a pillar of salt. You know what I mean? I get stuck again. And so here comes God chipping away the salt, chipping away that pillar to make me whole again.
Right.
And so my Paul has changed. I have a very good friend. His name's Jake Winneke. He played with me in college. He's always been the go-to guy for Jesus. He lives like Christ, man. Him and his brother Clark. Clark was my roommate, also another running back.
Okay.
And in college, Clark was one of those cats that he'll do anything for anybody. It'd be 2 a.m. and the airport's 45 minutes away. It's Sioux Falls to Brookings at South Dakota State, right? It'll be 40, people flying at 2 a.m., I'll be there. And one day I asked him, I said, Clark, man, why do you do all this? Why do you want to do all these things? Why do you do these things?
Right.
He said, I don't want to do them. I don't want to do them, but I just asked myself, what would Jesus do?
Right.
And I'm like, man, that conversation, that moment always sticks with me, because I find myself in the season I don't want to do something for my kids or for my wife or whatever. Where what would Jesus do? And it'll just that conversation and that phrase would just resurface. So in a way, he's been a Paul, right? And then again, the Timothys those are people who just show up, right? It's not like you go searching for them necessarily, but they'll find themselves at your doorstep. And so that's been a number of people as well. But that's something that's always being fine-tuned and searching for, because again, my Paul could get me to a certain level, and then I have to go to his Paul, right, and then I have to get his knowledge and understanding. So it's an ever evolving and changing.
Just building this network of Pauls, and Timothys.
That's right.
Because we need both of them.
Yeah, that's right.
We need to be taught and we need to teach.
That's right.
If we're going to be responsible with the gift that we're called to steward.
That's right.
Along those lines, I got a couple things. What would you say one of your signature strengths is that you've built over the years, that you fortified and that you own?
Mental toughness, honestly. And that's a blessing and a curse, because sometimes I put up a wall and it's just I'm too mentally tough, or it's almost like I become emotionless, but that's not the case.
Right,
it's just
numb.
I've shut it off because I've endured through so much pain that it's just this is what it is.
Right.
Life is what it is. And there's nothing that you can throw at me that'll break me. Right. And as I say that, protect me and bless me. That no weapon formed against me prosper, Lord. You know what I'm saying? For real, because that's inviting. And sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes, and my name is significant. I believe people's names are significant. Michael, Joseph, Daniel. Michael, the archangel who fights against the enemy, right? Joseph is a dreamer, and Daniel gets thrown in the lion's den.
Right.
I believe I'm called here to fight against the enemy, right? I also believe that I'm here. I interpret dreams, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And then I've been thrown in several lions then to keep coming out on the other side.
So the fortitude is what you developed, the mental, emotional fortitude has become your signature strength.
I would say, but it's an ever-evolving thing, right? It's just, you think you get to a spot in the level of that, and then it's okay, maybe I'm not where I want to be yet. Right. So I find myself, my best friend wants me to do a half marathon. And so
bless your heart.
I'm really heavily considering that, because it's uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable. And I have to find my ways to continue to get uncomfortable, because if you get
intentionally,
right? That's right. Because comfort is the enemy of progress. Right. And if you're ever at that place, you're stagnant. And then what's the point?
So what'd you just say? You bumped over it. Something is the enemy of progress?
Comfort's the enemy of progress.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so you're intentionally putting yourself in uncomfortable, perhaps painful situations to develop, to refine yourself, to continue to grow and evolve.
That's right. Yeah, and that's for everyone, that's different, right? Sometimes I wake up and I'll just take a cold shower.
Right. I was going to ask you about the plunge.
No, I don't do that anymore. I don't like cold tubs anymore because I spent a number of days in those and I never liked them. But like sometimes I wake up and I'm like, man, I just need to take a cold shower today because it's not fun.
Right.
You know, and it's like making myself uncomfortable so that I can grow through and make myself comfortable in that situation. So if that's it, I mean, Mike Tyson said, I won't start counting my push-ups until they start to hurt. Right. Situation. So, or whoever it was, right? Like, so that's not what I strive to do. It's like, what can I do today that's uncomfortable?
So practically speaking, now you're a commercial project manager at Royalty Roofing. How do you take all this experience that you've had in developing your resilience and your fortitude mentally and physically and exercise that on a daily basis in what you do as a vocation now here? You know what I mean?
I think I meet people where they're at.
Okay.
You know, I think I've had success in the roofing industry because I've never done anything out of desperation. It's just like true, authentic relationship.
Right.
And like, hey, I truly value your spaces if it's my own, right? Like if somebody comes to my door, how they connect with me, how they, talk to me, how they speak with me, and are they genuine? People can feel.
Right. Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like people know if somebody comes to their door and they're a salesman.
Oh, yeah.
And I never wanted to be a title of a salesman. I don't sell anything. Right. You might buy something, my service.
Yeah.
But I'm not a salesman. And there's a significantly different thing there. Right. And so I just use that in like, okay, I will work more diligently, not necessarily longer.
Right.
Because I don't necessarily believe in that anymore.
No.
But I'll work smarter and I'll
it's
do
not
what
even
I need
harder.
to do. No.
It's in a more disciplined, present state of mind and spirit.
Yeah. People don't need to. People stay busy just to say they're busy. I don't believe in that.
Right.
I believe that I need to do what I need to do in a smart capacity and then go spend time with my family, my wife and my kids, because then I'm rejuvenated, I'm uplifted. You know, my soul and my spirit are connected. And if all things are connected, then you can't beat me. Right. You might spend 100 hours working here in this office, but at home you're failing. If those two things aren't working together, then eventually something's gonna crash. Right. And so I don't want to. I choose the hard. This is my favorite thing to do in life is choosing hards. I told my wife this the other day. Choose the right hard. Right. What does that mean? Say it again.
What are you saying?
Choose the right hard.
The right hard.
That's right.
Because there's a wrong hard.
Always.
Okay. Explain.
I don't know if there's a wrong hard, so let me take that back. But there's a hard that's going to lead, there's a choice that you can make that's a less positive hard that'll put you in a place that you don't necessarily want to go.
Right.
So at the end of the day, right, marriage is hard. Divorce is hard. Choose your hard. Which hard do you want to choose, right? Having money is hard. Being broke is hard. Choose your hard.
Got you.
Right?
That makes sense.
Being fit is hard, right? It's hard to say no to the donuts and the X and the Y and going and working out, right? But so is being on the couch.
Sick is hard too.
Right? It's hard, right? Oh, I have health problems because of X, Y, and Z, right? So anybody in life where I meet you at, I can tell the series of hards that you've chosen in life that's put you in this place. Right? If you're a disciplined individual, you can tell this person chose these hards, and that's why they ended up here. This person isn't wrong for the hards that they chose, but it put them exactly where they are. So people say, oh, I'm here because X, Y, and Z. No, you're here because you made decisions along your path, and it wasn't necessarily the hard that was in alignment with what you wanted to do.
So if somebody, for our audience, if somebody found themselves on the wrong side of the hard, how do you get yourself on the right side of the hard? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You can't look at it from a 30,000-foot view. Right. You got to get a magnifying glass because it's decisions daily, moments by moment. Right. Like, this morning I woke up and it was 4:21, and at that moment I could have said, "Hey, I'm gonna go back to sleep." Right. That would have been hard because I wouldn't have gotten to go to my men's group and be filled and uplifted and have positive conversations with men to grow my character, right? So that was the hard I chose. I'm not saying you're wrong if you chose the hard of going back to sleep, right? That's great. Dude, that's fine. but it's moment by moment, decision by decision. Like, this is the heart I'm taking on this time, so that because this is where I want to go.
Right.
Right. It's not like I see these donuts, I'm gonna eat them. It's like, or if I do, I'm not saying you're wrong, but you have to do something to overcome that what you just ate, put it in the body.
Right. I get that. I like it actually.
Yeah. I
Because
mean,
there is
being
no
a doctor,
easy.
it wasn't easy.
No,
You chose
there is no
schooling.
it-
You chose hours and hours of putting your own body through
Right.
something that other people won't do.
Right.
It's not easy.
Right.
But you also get to wear a title that 1% of people get to wear.
Right.
Doctor. Right. So it's like, it's no different. It's, it's same with the roofing expert. It doesn't have to be an athletic perspective. It doesn't have to be a medical. It could be lawyer. It could be whatever. You could be the best McDonald's cheeseburger slinger, right?
Right.
That's fine.
Right.
Be the best at it and choose that hard, right? Because there are certain things that you can learn there that'll elevate you in another season of life.
Right. Going through what you've been through, what you've developed over the years and through the different phases and seasons of your life, how would you finish this statement? If it wasn't for the grace of God, ...
Man,
where would you be?
This is so powerful that you say that. I'll get into it, actually. That's such a great one. So I was saved and I was rolling, man. I was so on fire for Christ. I would have the Bible and I would write scripture. And when I was on the Panthers, when I got signed by the Panthers, this was after I had just gotten saved, like a month. I got filled in February. Got called in March, I want to say, signed in April. Okay, so 2 months from saving to getting another opportunity in the NFL, and I was on fire for Christ. I would put up a Bible verse on our meeting room in the running back room. Like, I'm praying, I'm walking right, I'm living right. And then here comes temptation knocking on the door again. And it was the temptation of smoking weed. And so I had done it in my past, and I'm like, at first, I was shutting it down. I'm like, no, I'm cool. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm good. I'm walking with Christ, blah, blah, blah. But then slowly but surely that temptation kept coming. Well, I'm okay because I got things rolling right now. I'm doing really good. I can do what I want. Like, I'm okay. Right. Like, and then it was a situation to whereas everybody or every day I'm looking forward to practice getting over so that I can go smoke. Right. And it came to a point where I tore my labrum in my shoulder. And the world sees it as, and the story that I've given off is that I tore my labrum, I got released. It's true.
Okay.
But I know through my conversation with God, the reason behind it is because I was making decisions that I wasn't making the right hard.
Right.
I wasn't choosing the right
hard. That's it.
I should have chose the hard of saying no, so that I could fulfill the dream and the aspirations that I had over here. But I got released, I got hurt, and I'm crying one day. I'm asking God, I said, why? Like, why I worked so hard to get here again? He said, because if I left you there, you would have died there.
Right.
And so that's the question.
You just finished it.
I said all that to say, ... if I left you there, you would have died there. And it might not have been in the physical sense, but it might have.
Right.
Right?
Could have been physical, could have been spiritual, could have been emotional breakdown.
Way worse. Right? All those are way worse, right? No fear of the man that can kill the body, fear of the man that can take body and soul.
Oh, come on, preacher, let them know.
And so I chose the wrong hards, and I have to live with that daily. So now, but there's a reason for it, right? I then went on to coach, be on staff at Nebraska.
Right.
And so I still have a very good relationship with a lot of these guys, and I mentor them, and I speak God into them, speak Jesus into them in life. And without those experiences, they wouldn't receive me.
Right.
So again, God gives us our certain capabilities, not necessarily for us, but so that we can pass them along.
Right.
And sometimes I get myself in the mindset of this is for me.
Right.
And it never was necessarily for me. Maybe he wanted to bless me and I wanted it, but it was so much deeper than just for me.
Right. Interesting. I want to spend just a little bit about a current event situation that's transpiring because you've been in the league.
That's right.
You've been in these professional sporting arenas. We have this Jaden Ivey. Have you been tracking with that? About the NBA basketball player that spoke out against the LGBTQ.
Okay.
Did you see it?
I haven't seen it.
Then we won't even talk about it then.
That's crazy, though. I mean, I have no idea. I haven't seen anything about it.
On behalf of, I don't know I don't know all the details, but on behalf of that not being biblical, but yet they're celebrating that in the NBA, and it just wasn't aligning with his spirit, so they let him go because he said something publicly about that. But
So what the Bible tells us that will happen. You'll be persecuted.
Yeah.
So was I.
right,
Remember, if the
That's why I
world
was
hates
wondering
you,
how
they
you
hated
managed
me
that,
first. But here's the thing about me in that situation, and my wife and I just had this conversation recently. These people are gay. Are they going to hell? My thought is this: God loves these people. I'm sinning no different than them.
Same thing. It's all the sin.
I'm sinning no different than them. So I'm not even going to put myself on that pedestal and tell you they're going to,
Right.
they're not going to heaven. Like, I'm not going to do that.
But for the grace of God,
It's
there
not
go
for
I.
me, right? I believe God will reveal himself to them at their point in
Right.
time, because, just like he did for me.
Right.
I didn't choose that.
Right.
He chose me.
Right.
And so if he loves us more than we could ever, think or imagine,
Right.
I'm not going to even dare call that, like, Now, is it a sin? Sure. Yeah, we can
let's
call that out.
call it what it is.
You can call that out. It is a sin, right?
Yep.
But here's another thing, though. Man says if a woman even looks at, if a man even
Same
looks at a
thing.
woman lustfully, he's already committed adultery
Right.
in his heart. Guilty.
Right.
I done it. Been there. Like, what are we talking about? Like, that's one of a number of sins.
What did Jesus say? You without sin, throw the first
Be the
stone.
first to cast
They
a
all
stone.
dipped, right?
He said, is anyone left? She said, no. He said, yeah, I don't judge you either. Go on and quit sinning. Here's the thing. If we would live, he said, all of you are sinners. Everybody. So not one of you is without sin.
Right.
Nobody. So if the people, this is why the church has been so distorted, and this is why I'm here, is to come against those spirits of religion.
Okay.
Because
When you
God
say
is for
here, what do you
everybody.
mean here?
Earth.
Okay.
In general, just life. That's why I'm here. That's why I have a breath in my lungs.
So that has to do with your purpose.
Yeah,
your
absolutely.
mission.
The calling on my life is to speak against the narrative of what the people, the church, has created Jesus and
Right.
in the Christian religion to be. Right, it's so distorted,
Right.
and we've put such a negative spin on it that the people who are so far from God will never want to come to God, because they're
Right.
like, why would I want to be part of this cult?
Exactly.
Why would I want to do this when they're this?
If that's
way?
a Christian, I don't want anything
That's
to do
right.
with that.
That's
Don't
right.
put that title on me. I don't
That's
want
right.
nothing to do with that.
I don't even call myself Christian.
I know.
I call myself a follower.
Right.
Right? I'm a believer.
Right.
God, Jesus never said you're a Christian.
Right.
Christian just means Christ-like.
Right.
I am Christ. I want to be Christ-like.
Right.
Right? But as far as Christian, like that narrative has been so widely distorted that it's put such a negative taste in people's mouth.
Right.
And I'm here to tell you, look, he just loves you.
Right.
That's it. If I woke up today and I loved you, I won. I did what I was supposed to
That's
do.
it.
You know what I mean? And we get it so twisted. Do they love people of the same sex, and is that a sin? Yes. Everybody's sinning.
Right.
It just looks different than theirs, so they're
Yep.
going to call it out.
Right. Greater love than no man.
Come on, man. God says
That he
God
laid
is
down his
love.
life for all that sin. It don't
right.
matter what it is.
He didn't specifically say, hey, Nick, this sin is okay. I'm cool with it. But these people over here are doing this. Like, that's not.
Wow.
Except what? Blasphemy of the Spirit.
Right.
Okay. Well, he's made that clear. He said,
Right.
okay, except blasphemy of the
That's to
Spirit.
draw a line in the sand.
Right? That I won't even touch.
Right.
Like if somebody's out here blaspheming the Spirit, like, hey, whoa, like he made that one clear. But all these other things, it's not like I'm saying you should do them, but I'm saying that's why this weekend is what it is. That's why Easter is what it is, and the resurrection. And that's another thing. Let's remember what it is.
Yeah.
It's not go do an Easter egg hunt, and
Right.
that's great. Do those things. That's fine. I'm not saying it's not, but know why.
Right.
And that's because Jesus died and rose again. So we got to remember. We got to remember what it really is.
Absolutely. Hey, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. I'm proud of you.
Absolutely. I appreciate you.
Living that life.
That's right.
Somehow, some way, you landed here, whether it's for permanent or for a season. I'm just glad we got to intersect, and
That's right.
I believe in the best for you and your family. So thanks again.
Oh, man. Thank you. I appreciate
appreciate
it.
you.
Yes, sir.